Good afternoon. It is 2 o'clock, or 1 o'clock, excuse me, and I'd like to call to order the May 2nd meeting of the Oklahoma County Criminal Justice Authority. Next item on the agenda is a roll call. Please call the roll.
Tommy Johnson.
Present.
Loretta Radford. Sue Ann Arnall. Present. Chad Alexander. Ben Brown.
Here.
Kevin Calvey.
Present.
M.T. Berry. Joe Albaugh. And Jim Couch.
Present. We have a quorum. Next up is the pledges of allegiance. Mr. Calvey, would you lead us in the pledges?
Happy to. Thank you.
Please face the flag. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next up is public comment. First up is Sean Cummings.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm glad there's a few of you here. Since Greg has his lawyer here today, maybe we can address the audio tapes from about a month and a half ago everybody's been hiding from. I sure would like to get an answer from somebody eventually about that. Now, this morning I was in a county commissioners meeting, and I had watched a videotape of Carrie Bloomer interviewing with Waylon Cubitt. And in that, she explained how to dissolve the trust, which is all 9 members have to agree to dissolve the trust. And then all 3 county commissioners have to agree to dissolve the trust. And then it goes to the governor, and the governor has to sign off on it. She said the county commissioners have no power over the administrator or anybody else over there, that it's just you all. But when I brought it up to you all, Chad Alexander said, you're just an advisory board. Somebody's got to come up with some answers here. I've never heard anything about this deal with him over here except Ben's embarrassing thing on the news. Now, honestly, on the indenture, Kevin Calvey is signed for both the trustor and the trustee, which is fine if it's an individual one. I've got 2 different lawyers haggling over whether that was legal with a semi-government document. And I'm reading through this. I just got down this rabbit hole today because I haven't seen this, to be honest with you. I think you guys need to come up with an explanation of how some discipline is going to happen, how some accountability is going to happen. You were supposed to be kind of easy to read and do everything. And what we've found to be, it's degrees of hiddenness. Just degrees of hiddenness. And quite frankly, it's embarrassing and shameful. I'm glad that Joe Albaugh's leaving. He was too good of a guy to be in this group. So that's all I got to say.
Thank you. Michael Washington.
Well, ladies and gentlemen of this wonderful horseshoe, and of course you illustrious people out in this audience. What have y'all done? Did y'all not hear this young man speak? And I say young because he's only young in numbers, not age. I'm here today to support wholeheartedly what he has to say. And let me also add while I'm at it, that I'm going to go with the voters before this bond request is approved by the Oklahoma County Commissioners for $260 million to build an extremely unnecessary large facility to house more people in, that you're already having trouble with the smaller version of a more than $53 million small facility that holds 1,200 people. Now you want to hold 1,800 people with a new facility costing more than $60 million. You just want $260 million coming from the bond for June 28th. Okay, the bond vote. Where is the other $40 million got to come from then? Come on now, let's keep it real. Let's not keep it trill, because I'm real with mine, what I'm talking about now. So not only do we need to make sure that that's not built, but we need to make sure that we kick some behind to prevent even talk of it from coming up again. You people are not trying to control fentanyl being introduced in that facility. I've just read over a presentation. Hey, now, I just read over a presentation where I guess Mr. Williams is going to be speaking here in a minute. He speaks about the body scanners being introduced into the jail. Watch this here. But now know this is not my mind tricking me because I'm highly intelligent. Body scanners for intake and transportation on site. Your scanner would detect foreign objects hidden in and on detainee when they enter the facility, as well as they go to and from court. You said nothing about the body scanner being applied to employees who are bringing that stuff in. I'm locked down. How did it get into me then? What we do? Come on now. You don't try to run this farce at me because I read it all. Don't give me information because I do my investigations. That's right. Now then, you also talk about, well, we let out 1,956 releasing. Watch this one. But then you booked in 2,120. Well, my goodness. Why do you let 1,900 out when you're pulling in more than 2,000 more? Isn't that a farce? Is this why now, this propensity and this pattern of conduct, you want to build a bigger jail to make it match that way you can let more or less out because we have more facilities to keep people in and confined? I say we're not going for it. And let me tell y'all one thing. If I have to continue to file a lawsuit until I'm red in the face, I'm all red light skin anyway. Let me see. You know, it's nice to be joyful and happy. But my joyful and happiness will not let me disregard the need in the people being given the representation that they need. Call on Mike Washington and I'm going to be there. Hasta la vista one more time, baby, because I am he. I am that I was. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Washington. Next on the agenda is the consent docket. It includes 3 items. It's the minutes from the April 4th meeting. It's the approval of the invoices and claims list for May 2nd, and it's to receive the income statements and financial reports. Are there any items on the consent docket that the trustees would like to pull for individual consideration or discussion?
Move its adoption.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent docket.
Tommy Johnson,
Yes.
Sue Ann Arnold, Ben Brown,
Yes.
Kevin Calvey,
Yes.
and Jim Couch.
Yes,
Motion passes.
thank you. Next is a report from our Chief Executive Officer, Greg Williams.
Good morning. It's been a busy month at the jail. The staff have been working very hard to continue to make improvements both in the physical plant and the daily operations. This week is the Employee Recognition Week, so we'll have several opportunities to recognize some of our fine staff and the work that they've been doing. We're in the process of updating our reception process, the intake, specifically reworking the medical component of that intake and making some space maybe for some additional assessments and some of that. So let's get started. We can talk about these as we go through. The health department did visit the jail again on April 13th and 14th, and again they came back on the 18th. And like any of the outside entities that come into the jail and give us inspections or advice on how to update our operations, we eagerly await those results. So we expect to get a report from them in the oncoming weeks, and then we'll put together a plan of action to address anything that they may have found. Our COVID, we currently have no active COVID cases with the employees or the detention, the detainees. Again, our protocols have pretty much will remain the same. We follow CDC guidelines. 3 to 5 days after reception, the detainees are tested or offered a test, and if they're positive or had known exposures, then we'll quarantine them for an additional 10 days. So all detainees are quarantined for the first 10 days, and then the results of that testing will determine really what happens in the next 10 days. So far in 2021, we've given 9,329 COVID tests, and we've had 177 of those positive. So COVID is still much on our minds. We still are taking active precautions to avoid COVID and COVID exposures and taking appropriate action when that's found. Booking and releasing, we did 4,058 total bookings and releases in April of 2022. 1,956 released and 2,102 booking. Again, this is the first month that we've had more bookings than releasings. Last year, 421, our count was 1,597, and today it's 1,615. So we're up about 28 people really and a lot of different things that could have explained for that. So that's not a big increase. We've had 17 new recruits in April. We did start a new cadet class this morning, so they are in class as we speak. Currently, we have 334 total employees, and that number may be up slightly, but really that's about where we've been. Again, recruiting staff, quality staff, continues to be one of our top priorities there at the jail. So we actively recruit on about 60 websites, and we do interviews and applications every day, essentially. Synaptic was the company that we contracted with to redo our jail control system. And again, when we took over the jail in July of 2019, we were told by the sheriff at that time that that was probably the most delicate system in the jail. They gave us one of the greatest liabilities that we had. And again, this is the system that operates all the sliders and the doors and the elevator and the intercom system, and really is the brains of the detention facility. And again, that system was totally reworked. Last month, really, it took about 28 days to get that system redone. Again, all those circuit boards were built ahead of time, and we had multiple contingencies for everything that could conceivably go wrong. Again, it was about 1.5 years in the design and in the implementation to get that system all upgraded. Here's some photos of kind of what it looked like before. They're on the left and in the middle. And as you can see, that system has been replaced, I think, twice since the jail was built. And historically, when they replace it, they don't take the wires out. They just leave all the old wires in. So it was really quite a mess. Synaptic, and part of the contract was they would go in and pull all the old wiring out. We didn't reuse any wire. It's all totally new wire. It's all properly labeled. We built new cabinets for that. So again, that system is up and running and really has taken a lot of load off of the jail. So that was one of the projects when we first took over, and up until really the implementation, that we were quite vulnerable and really kept me up at night worrying about if that system was going to fail or not. This is the new intake process, and again, we have not started that yet. I've met with several of the cities. I've met with Chief Gorley about it, and we are on the process of getting that done. We really are looking at how do we improve that process, how do we give better medical screenings, and how do we give more immediate mental health type screenings, and how do we get people booked into the jail really as efficiently as we can. And again, the new process will take a little bit more time, but it's time well spent when we can do a better job up front of really kind of identifying who we have coming in and what are their needs and what are their risks, and getting that process set up. We've repainted. That doorway is not repainted, but the walls certainly have. And we're in the process of cleaning that area back up and getting it repainted and getting that process in. Again, historically, the jail has operated with really a two-stage medical screening. They had a pre-screening, which was the detainee would be brought in, they would immediately be screened. Again, it was about a 10 or 15 question medical screening, and it was really just to determine, are they physically capable, are they in such a state that they could be admitted to the jail. And then later in the bookend process, they would be seen by nurses, and we'd have what we called full medical. So we've done away with that. We're going to combine all that right up front. So replace the pre-screening with the full medical. So as inmates are brought in, they'll be searched, and then they'll go through a full medical screening. We've added 2 different questionnaires. One of them is a more extensive mental health questionnaire. The police officer actually fills it out about what was their state of mind, what was the situation that led to their arrest, and how was their behavior, and some of that during the arrest. And then our mental health staff will fill out an application about their mental health and do a better maybe assessment of their immediate mental health needs, so that those services can begin and screening can begin much earlier in the process. We're excited about that, and again, we think it'll provide better services to the detainee. This is a picture of our body scanner. It will be part of our medical screening. And again, the scanner's primary role is to detect substances that may have been in or on the body that pose a medical risk or a medical problem for that detainee. Again, we've had instances where chemicals were hidden from us, and then they would later burst, or they would cause a medical situation. So that will be part of our new medical screening process. Again, this is a state-of-the-art machine that will help us maybe identify substances and contraband as it comes in. One of the advantages that we have with the detainees is it's a single point of access. So all the arrestees that come to the jail come through a single door so that we can easily screen everybody that comes in the jail, whether they come in off the street as part of an arrest or they come back from court or a writ or however they come into the jail. Of course, other sources of contraband, employees, visitors, volunteers, vendors, again, there's multiple points of entrance for those sites, so it's harder to do that. Again, this body scanner will be available that we could use it to screen staff or volunteers or visitors or other people if there's a suspect, but it won't be able really to do everyone because there's just multiple points. We only have one machine at this point. We are licensed. The Department of Environmental DEQ did give us a certificate, so we are able to run that machine. We have probably about 50 staff or so that have been trained, have certification as operators. So that machine is ready to start utilizing as soon as we get the intake process started. So that'll be part of our new intake process. This is Randall Miller. He is a sergeant at the jail, and he works very closely with the Oklahoma County Treatment Program. Again, he is the liaison that works with the specialty courts, and he was recognized last month for his participation and his value to those programs. And I just wanted to give him a shout out during this public meeting. So we do appreciate Sergeant Miller and the work that he and his staff are doing at the jail. So our employees of the month, Corporal Darrell Batterson, he works in receiving, and Luke Tomlinson, he is one of our maintenance staff. So again, I just want to give an employee shout out to the employees of the month, and those were the employees of the month for April. That concludes my presentation. Is there any questions or comments?
Yes, how long have you been?
Any questions for Mr. Williams?
Just one comment. I wanted to give a shout out to you and William and your staff where I had a bondsman come to me with an issue about something about, a release time on a certain person. You all delved right into it, figured out what went on, and took action to make sure it goes smoother in the future. So, appreciate it.
Absolutely. I've said in the past that, the purpose of the jail is is to provide services to the detainees, services to the trust, the county officials, the bondsmen, the police. So anytime that we get requests or we get complaints or we get suggestions, we take those very serious. So I appreciate you reaching out and bringing those kind of things to my attention.
One more question. How tall are you?
All right, is there a motion to receive Mr. Williams' report?
So move.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Please call the roll.
Tommy Johnson,
Yes.
Sue Ann Arnall, Ben Brown,
Yes.
Kevin Calvey,
Yes.
and Jim Couch.
Yes,
Motion passes.
thank you. Next is a report regarding meetings of the Oklahoma County Criminal Justice Authority's Citizen Advisory Board. Is Chris or Aaron here? Okay, I don't think they're with us. Chris was going to try to be here. So we'll take no action on that. Item 7 is to discuss contracts, the following contracts between Oklahoma County Criminal Justice Authority. And we have one on today with the Master Service Agreement with Lexipol Custody Manual Subscription to provide new updated policies and procedures for Oklahoma County Detention Center. We have presently policies in place. Lexipol is it's a service that will make sure that our policies are correct, and they'll bring it up to date with present standards that are out there, which I think is really important. Sheriff, do you use Lexipol?
We don't use Lexipol currently. We handle our own policies and procedures. But when I work for the city of Norman, they use Lexipol, and it's very interactive. Updates and stuff that you can send out to the guys and gals that work there. So I'm impressed with the technology.
And they do regular testing with it too, so I think that's very, very important. Are there any questions regarding the agreement?
Move adoption.
We have a motion for adoption. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Tommy Johnson,
Yes.
Sue Ann Arnall, Ben Brown,
Yes.
Kevin Calvey,
Yes.
and Jim Couch.
Yes.
Motion passes.
The next regular scheduled meeting of the Oklahoma County Justice Authority will be on June 6th. For executive session, we have to consider and approve entering into the executive session for the below listed item.
So move.
What I would look for is a motion that we go into executive session as per the language of item number 9.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Tommy Johnson,
Yes.
Sue Ann Arnold, Ben Brown,
Yes.
Kevin Calvey,
Yes.
and Jim Couch.
Yes.
We are recessed.
Oh, no, I'm not finished. Let me speak for you. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun.
2, 3, 4, 7.
Yes.
Item 10 is to consider and approve leaving executive session and reconvening in open session. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Tommy Johnson,
Yes.
Sue Ann Arnold, Ben Brown,
Yes.
Kevin Calvey,
Yes.
and Jim Couch.
Yes,
Motion passes.
thank you. There is no discussion or action desired by the trustees in regard to item 11, so we'll move on to item 12. Is a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
I'll second.
Second.
Motion is second. Please call the roll.
Tommy Johnson,
Yes.
Sue Ann Arnold, Ben Brown,
Yes.
Kevin Calvey,
Yes.
and Jim Couch.
Yes.
We are adjourned.
I will have my presentation probably the next visit.